Well, let's talk some business. The federal government has generated 14.59 billion naira from issuing mining licenses and accreditations between 2018 and 2022. The Director General of the Nigerian Mining Cadastre Office, Mr. Obadi Yankom, disclosed this at the State House ministerial briefing in Abuja. In 2018, 2019, 2020, the agency generated 1.55 billion naira, 2.38 billion naira, and 2.57 billion naira, respectively. However, in 2021, its revenue surged to 4.3 billion naira and dropped to 3.79 billion naira in 2022. Mr. Nkom explained that revenue fell in 2022 due to the latest digital upgrades on its license processing platform, impeding revenue inflow as activities were suspended temporarily. The Central Bank of Nigeria has insisted that the January 31st deadline for the retirement of old Naira notes will not be extended. The Ilorin branch controller of CBN, Mr. Najimu Lamidi, reaffirmed this while speaking to journalists in Ilorin during a sensitization visit to the palace of the Emir of Ilorin, Dr. Ibrahim Zulu Gambari. That was the first port of call for the CBN officials, and the Emir commended them for embarking on such enlightenment campaign. The team also visited some major markets in Ilorin, where they intimated market men and women on the advantages of the newly redesigned 200, 500, and 1,000 naira notes. The branch controller advised Nigerians to go to the nearest banks or consult bank agents in their area for the exchange of their old naira notes.
Many people around here, Kwara State, to know about this new currency, to make sure that they accept it, they use it, and to make sure that those that have this old currency at home, that is 200 naira, 500 naira, and 1,000, they take it to their bank on time, because CBN will not extend the date, the deadline of 31st of January. So by that time, we expect everybody to take their money, the money they have at home, to take it to their various banks for deposit.
Away from that, the Federal Competitions and Consumer Protection Commission have taken a domestication. The domestication of this is that the medical centers had ratified the bill's provisions and would now discharge its duties in alignment with the item. Now, this is geared towards ensuring that interests of patients who utilize the center's facilities are given top priority. Lara Folayo has the report.
The Patients' Bill of Rights was launched in 2018 to ensure there are new standards of quality, equity and dignity in patients' healthcare experience in the country. The Bill of Rights is now being domesticated at the Federal Medical Center in Jabi on the request of the facilities managers. The implication of this is that the hospital has ratified the bill's provisions and would adhere to them in a discharge of its medical duties.
I am truly inspired that Federal Medical Center will publicly adopt, sign up, and display domesticating. The reason is that there is nothing that can be held against a man much more than your own words.
Based on that, we were able to come up with a mission and vision for this institution, and using that mission and vision, we set up a strategic plan to achieve what we want to achieve.
The Patients' Bill of Rights is seen as a bill of integrity that links the right to life and minimum standards of healthcare which all Nigerians deserve. The exercise here is expected to drive this mandate at this Federal Medical Center.
And it's good that we, as a consumer protection regulator, and I, as someone who's extremely particular about medicine, patient care, facilities, and all of that, when I can say that what our country needs is scaling up what you're doing here.
If a patient can come here and then we fail to discharge our duties, then it means we have failed. The federal government is doing its best to support us, and I can tell you that for the past 3 or 4 years, the capital budgets for federal tertiary health institutions have been released 100%.
The Patients' Bill of Rights is focused on issues including access to patient-related information, fee-related information, confidentiality, quality care, access to emergency care, patient's dignity, visitation, patients' refusal of care, interruption of service by provider, and complaints generally. Lara Folayo, TVC News, Abuja.
Well, despite the rise in cost of living, Africa's GDP growth is expected to hit 4% in 2023, higher than projected world averages of 2.7 and 3.2% respectively. The president of the African Development Bank, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, disclosed this at the inauguration of the maiden edition of the 2023 African Macroeconomic Performance and Outlook in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire. Mr. Adesina explained that in spite of the challenging external environment, Africa has demonstrated continued resilience. The AFDB president added that Africa's top 5 performing economies are expected to grow more than 5.5%, with Libya growing at 12.9% rate, followed by Niger, Senegal, Rwanda, Côte d'Ivoire, and can reclaim their position among the world's top 10 fastest growing economy. However, I urge African nations the risk. Today's trading session at the exchange closed negative with a loss in market capitalization. The all-share index decreased by 0.06% to close at 52,594.68 basis points. Market closed negative as Link Assurance topped the chart of losers with 9.62%, followed by Cheap ELC 7.35%, Mutual Benefit 3.23%, Dangote Sugar 2.58%, and Jais Bank 2.2%. While Abe Mortgage Bank led the gainers chart, followed by Prestige International, Energy Insurance, Cornerstone Insurance, and FTN Cocoa at the end of trading for the week. Outside our shores now, Asia's equities market and crude oil rose today amid optimism about China's reopening following the lifting of stringent COVID-19 curbs. As markets prepare for the Lunar New Year, Hong Kong Hang Seng Index rallied 1.5% and maintained blue chips where 0.5, mainland blue chips where 0.57% firmer. Japan's Nikkei added 0.56%, helped by the yuan. South Korea Kospi gained 0.63%. Australia's benchmark edged 0.23%. Asians market rose despite a sell-off on Wall Street overnight, with the S&P 500 losing 0.76%. E-money features indicated a small bounce at the reopened Dow, gaining 0.2%. German DAX features gained 0.47%, and FTSE features rose 0.48%. Crude oil prices were set to post a second straight weekly gain today, spurred largely by brightening economic prospects for China, which should boost fuel demand in the world's second biggest economy. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude experiences an upward price review of 0.92% to sell at $81.07 per barrel. Brent crude futures also experiences an uptick of 0.71% to sell at $86.77 per barrel. Bonny Light sells at $85.97 with a downward price review of 2.06%. And for the OPEC basket, crude oil dealers are offering $86.62 per barrel with an upward price review of 1.58%.